Imagine walking into one of the most secure buildings in the world, not with a weapon, but with a disguise and a master plan. In the early hours of St. Patrick's Day, 1990, the city of Boston witnessed a crime that defies everything we know about security and logic. Two men, dressed as local authorities, gained access to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. In less than 81 minutes, they executed the largest private property theft in history. They didn't just take art, they took pieces of history worth over $500 million. But the most haunting part isn't what they took, it's what they left behind. Today, more than 35 years later, the museum still displays the original gilded frames, hanging empty on the walls like open wounds waiting to be healed. No one was caught. Not a single painting was ever recovered, and the reward of $10 million remains unclaimed. Was this a hit by a professional international ring, or was it a secret kept for decades by the local underground? Tonight, we are entering the vault to examine the evidence of a heist that proved that sometimes the most valuable things in the world can simply vanish. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. March 18th, 1990. The city of Boston was still recovering from the celebrations of St. Patrick's Day. Inside the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, a Venetian-style palace filled with priceless treasures, the silence was absolute. At 1:24 a.m., the peace was broken by a buzzer at the side entrance. Two men stood outside, dressed in what appeared to be standard police uniforms. They claimed to be responding to a disturbance call within the museum grounds. The young security guard on duty, a college student with little experience in crisis management, faced a decision that would change the world of art forever. He broke protocol. He let them in. The men acted with cold, professional authority. Within minutes, they had both guards incapacitated and restrained in the basement, their faces wrapped in duct tape. Then, the clock started ticking. For the next 81 minutes, the intruders moved through the Dutch room and the short gallery with a strange mixture of precision and brutality. They weren't just picking items at random. They were going after the crown jewels of the collection. They bypassed hundreds of smaller, more portable objects to reach the heavy hitters. They sliced masterpieces right out of their frames, leaving the jagged remains of the canvas behind. This wasn't just a theft, it was a surgical extraction of global heritage. But as they moved from room to room, the motion sensors recorded something bizarre. Their movements were erratic. They spent a significant amount of time in certain areas while completely ignoring others of equal value. Who were these men? They didn't look like professional art thieves. They looked like blue-collar workers executing a high-stakes contract. And as they loaded the final piece, a tiny, priceless Rembrandt self-portrait, into their vehicle and disappeared into the Boston night, they left behind a trail of questions that the authorities are still trying to answer today. When the morning staff arrived at 8:15 a.m., they didn't find a museum. They found a crime scene that looked like a war zone. The tally of the missing items was staggering. 13 objects in total. But it wasn't just the quantity, it was the quality. Among the missing was Rembrandt's only known seascape, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, a massive, powerful painting that the intruders had literally hacked out of its heavy wooden casing. But the biggest blow to the art world was the disappearance of The Concert by Johannes Vermeer. To understand the gravity of this, you have to know that there are only about 34 known Vermeers in existence. One of them, a cornerstone of human creativity, had simply vanished into the Boston night. As the FBI took over the case, the inconsistencies began to pile up. Why did the thieves take a bronze eagle finial from the top of a Napoleonic flag? but leave behind a world-famous Michelangelo drawing just inches away? Why did they struggle to remove certain large paintings, spending precious minutes cutting them while ignoring smaller, more valuable works that were easier to carry? The motion detectors revealed another chilling detail. The thieves had spent a long time in the Dutch room, but the sensors showed no movement in the area where one of the paintings was supposedly taken. It was as if a ghost had moved through the gallery. The investigation quickly turned toward the local underworld. This was Boston in the 90s, a city where the lines between the law and the mob were often blurred. Rumors began to circulate that the art wasn't stolen for money, but for leverage. In the world of organized crime, a stolen masterpiece is better than gold. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card to be traded with the government when a high-ranking boss gets caught. But as the weeks turned into years, and the years into decades, the trail didn't just go cold, it froze. No one tried to sell the paintings on the black market. No one claimed the reward. It was as if the $500 million haul had fallen off the face of the earth. In the streets of Boston, secrets have a way of staying buried, and the Gardner heist is no exception. As the FBI's art crime team dug deeper, the investigation led them straight into the heart of the local mafia. The theory was simple. The heist wasn't an artistic statement, it was a business transaction. One name kept surfacing in the classified files: Robert Guarente. He was a high-level associate with ties to organized crime families. Authorities believed Guarente and his circle had access to the stolen masterpieces, keeping them hidden in secret locations across the Northeast. But the trail took a dark turn. Most of the primary suspects began to disappear, not into hiding, but into the grave. One associate was found in the trunk of a car. Another was silenced before he could speak to federal agents. It was as if a cleanup crew was moving faster than the law, erasing every human link to the empty frames. Then came the Connecticut connection. Years later, an informant claimed that he had seen two of the paintings in a secret compartment under a floorboard in a remote farmhouse. The FBI conducted high-profile raids using ground-penetrating radar and forensic teams. They tore the property apart, searching for the stroke of Vermeer's brush or the texture of Rembrandt's canvas. They found nothing. This led investigators to a chilling possibility. Had the art been destroyed? In the world of the mob, if a bargaining chip becomes too hot to handle, if the heat from the FBI is too intense, the order is often given to make the evidence vanish forever. Yet, some believe the paintings are still out there, sitting in a climate-controlled basement of a private collector who doesn't care about the law, only about the prestige of owning the impossible. Or perhaps they were shipped overseas, serving as collateral for international deals that the world will never see. The Gardner Museum has never stopped looking. They've increased the reward to a staggering $10 million, the largest ever offered by a private institution. But in 35 years, not a single person has come forward with the truth. To walk through the Dutch room today is to experience a unique kind of silence. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum has made a defiant choice. They refuse to replace the stolen masterpieces. The empty frames remain exactly where they were on that night in 1990, ghostly reminders of what was taken from the world. These frames are more than just wood and gold leaf. They are symbols of a puzzle that may never be solved. Every year, millions of dollars are spent and thousands of hours are logged by federal agents. Yet the canvas of Rembrandt's Storm on the Sea of Galilee remains missing, perhaps gathering dust in a forgotten attic or hidden in a vault beneath the streets of Europe. Investigating this heist has been a journey into the shadows of human greed and the brilliance of artistic genius. It's a story that stays with you, the idea that 13 pieces of our collective history could simply evaporate into the night. There is a profound sadness in knowing that an entire generation has grown up without being able to stand before the Vermeer or the Rembrandt, feeling the power of their brushstrokes in person. We've spent weeks diving into these classified files, and we share the frustration of the investigators. How can something so large, so famous, and so valuable stay hidden for over 3 decades? It is a mystery that defies the modern world of surveillance and global connectivity. But as long as those frames stay empty, there is hope. Hope that someone, somewhere, will finally decide that $10 million and a clean conscience is worth more than a stolen secret. We are deeply committed to following this case, and we will bring you any new developments as they emerge from the underground. Some secrets are meant to stay buried, but we believe that art belongs to the world. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. We put a lot of heart into every video we create for you. Discovery Vault wishes you a wonderful day.